I lost my dad when he was 46 years old. He was, fit, healthy, ate reasonably well, etc. And he got diagnosed with liver cancer. And within 6 months of his diagnosis, he was gone. So we lost the house, it was repossessed, and we found ourselves out on the streets. B&B, sofa surfing, myself, my mum and my brother, we've done it.
My younger sister, just before her 40th birthday, had a stroke and had to have major brain surgery. When that happened, she didn't have anything in place. But when that happened, it struck me that how many others don't have anything in place?
I was announced dead, as in heartbeat, dead. My family was told to pull the wire, this is it. There's no hope. She's not coming back around. Come on, let it go.
I'm Fusion. I'll be moderating this conversation. It's all about insurance. We know we use social media to have edutainment. We like to have a lot of fun. We share what we love in music. We share what we love about movies. There's some wahala and some madness going out in the world. We love to click and share. When it comes to really serious issues about business, about tech, and this conversation we have about insurance, we don't share enough. And that's why we're going to have this deep dive about why insurance is important for our communities. Now, a lot of the time, our insurance is spirituality. We do a little bit of prayer when something goes wrong. I'm all for it, but do you notice we pray when it's gone wrong? We suddenly say, Jesus, I'm in trouble. And I feel with insurance, and I'll be interested to hear the stories, it's pretty late in the day to ask for insurance when everything's gone mad. So I want us to really look at how we can get to understand insurance, its purpose, and how we can utilize that to protect ourselves and ensure we live healthier, happier lives as people in the community. So I'm going to grab a seat, and I'm just going to start by just allowing our panelists to introduce themselves in terms of their role and how they got into insurance, because everyone has an origin story, and I'm really curious how some of you went from different careers to go into this world of insurance and become leaders in your field. So I'm going to start from the far side, please.
Thank you. Good to see you all. So really quickly with me, insurance was not really...
Could you tell them your name as well, please? Welcome to the space.
My name is Harold, by the way. So to begin with, insurance wasn't a field that I would have, ordinarily considered getting into until I understood the importance of having it, or, furthermore, what it could be like when you don't have it. So quick story about myself. I lost my dad when he was 46 years old. He was, fit, healthy, ate reasonably well, etc. And he got diagnosed with liver cancer. And within 6 months of his diagnosis, he was gone. Now, to give you an idea of what you're looking at, this was a man who, on a good day, walked around at 19 stone. And when he died, if I'm giving him 9 stone, I'm being generous. It ate him alive, literally. So, of course, he passed on, but he didn't have any cover in place. So we lost the house, it was repossessed, and we found ourselves out on the streets. B&B, sofa surfing, myself, my mum and my brother, we've done it. But one thing Dad was good at was spending money. But not on the important things. So had he just put a couple of pennies aside to secure some form of cover, I probably won't be having this conversation with you today. So I've been on the receiving end, a dad who didn't basically plan and protect his family. And, I've made it my mission, and I've said, so long as I'm around, if I can just pass on a message, because I'm thinking about kids, especially for those of us who have children or are planning to have children in the future, don't pass your kids your debts. Secure your family and just take care of business for when you're gone. That's the most important bit, because once you're gone, you don't know no pain, you don't know no suffering. It's those you leave behind that suffer the aftermath of it.
Thank you for sharing that. I just watched a film called A Man Called Otto. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but even in that film, he had saved so much he was able to pass on. And I was just wondering whether it's a cultural challenge that we kind of live for the now so much, and that maybe looking back to our parents and the grandparents, there hasn't really been that knowledge base to pass on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I grew up in a church setting, in a church background, and whenever the topic of insurance comes up, it's seen as a curse. Hey, I'm not taking insurance. Hey, I'm going to die. You know what I mean? It's like you're almost inviting death upon yourself. That's like me saying, if I get into my car today, I'm not going to put in a seatbelt because I am expecting to crash. You don't expect to crash.
Tell him again, man. Serious.
If you do, it could be the difference between life and death. And it's a cultural almost like stigma that if you take it, you are inviting it upon yourself. It's not. Trust me. You don't want to find yourself in a position where you need it and you don't have it.
I love the passion on this panel. Kelly is just ready to just dive in. So speak on that, please.
Okay, so my name's Paula Perry, and I teach financial literacy to the community. And how insurance got added to what I do was my younger sister, just before her 40th birthday, had a stroke and had to have major brain surgery. When that happened, she didn't have anything in place. But when that happened, it struck me that how many others don't have anything in place? How many others are not aware of the importance of insurance? How many people in our community believe that it's expensive and something that's not important or a priority as one of my outgoings? So I made it a commitment that I was going to teach myself, learn about it, get into the industry, so I was be able to now go back to my community to let them know how important it is and to make them informed. Because my thing is, it's better to be informed than not informed. When you know something, now you're in a position to say, should I do something about this or am I going to leave it? Most people think of insurance as just life insurance. There's so many different types of insurances out there that protects different elements of your life, especially of those, as brother said there, with children, you know, your income, you're self-employed. There's a number of different things that we're probably going to go into. But the key thing for me is if my sister had insurance, now the difference what the family could have done is it puts you in a different position. Where is she being cared for? Now I can choose where she's being cared for, not they put her anywhere and I'm not happy where she is. With the payment that come, I make an adapt my home, put a stairs carrier in the home, adapt the bathroom so I can take my family member home and she lives at home. But when you haven't got these funds in place or insurance in place, it doesn't allow you to have the options. And the key thing as well is people think of insurance as, oh my gosh, it's a curse, it's an omen, you know, that type of thing. Where I look at it as you are preparing for those that you love that you leave behind. That's what you're doing with insurance.
It's breaking those perceptions, isn't it? I mean, we do have a culture where GoFundMe is being developed into a space where we're burying people through collective finance, and it's a real kind of trauma and pain attached to that, for sure.
And I think even with that GoFundMe element, it's shameful.
Begging.
Yeah, it's
Begging.
a shameful thing. And for me, if I just be blunt here, our burial is not the responsibility of nobody else for us. We need to do that for ourselves, that we're allowing our family members to grieve in peace, not worrying, not going into debt themselves. So I think that's quite crucial. Some of us think that, oh, you know, we're young, we don't need to think about it now. But let me tell you something, when you're young, it's the best place to put it in. Don't wait till you're older. Now it becomes a bit expensive, but it's our individual responsibility, I believe, to have these things in place.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay, Sharuk.
Hi, everyone. So I've got a similar story to the both, except it was actually my story. So in March the 5th of 2004, I was announced dead, as in heartbeat, dead. My family was told to pull the wire, just kind of, this is it. So, you know, there's no hope. She's not coming back around. Come on. Let it go. My mum said no. If this is her life for the next 24 years, then this is her journey. This is what we have to go through. Anyway, cut a long story short, and I'm not going to try and bore you with it. Six to 7 weeks later, I woke up from a coma. I was paralyzed from neck down, brain damaged. Was told I would never walk again. I would never walk, talk, or ever read, write, or anything. I was literally, this is my life. Again, I'm going to cut a very long story short. How I got into insurance is my family lost their home, similar to Harold. When we think about insurance, we think about, okay, well, it's when you die, but how about when you get sick? How about how many people are affected around you? My family were fully affected for years, were in debt for years. So, and they never knew. We're not educated. You know, I come from Iraq. We're not educated to financial education in the UK. So therefore it was, oh, what's out there? We're looked at insurance as a scam, as most people tell you, know, oh, it doesn't work. It's a scam. They just take your money and nothing gets paid. Yeah, because you're not going to an advisor. But we're going to touch base on that in a minute. And so I fell into it because as I was recovering, I started going into schools and literally trying to teach myself financial education. And I wish that somebody like Paula Perry was around because I needed that support to understand money, to understand what financial education is. And so I fell into it. And somebody said, oh yeah, you know, life insurance. And I said, oh, what is that? And I kind of started digging and digging. Bearing in mind, this is now in my recovery stage. And so I fell into it that way. So So we're talking about over 15 years ago. So I've been in the industry since then. I've known about it since then, and it's been my mission. I fell in love with it. I said, oh my God, had my family known about all of this, then guess what? Their house wouldn't have gone. I would have had a better treatment. They would have had a better service. My mum wouldn't have been turned disabled because of me. But yeah, so it affected not just me, it affected everyone around me. So it was a deep, deep situation. And it was like, okay, how can I help? What was my mission? And that's how I kind of fell into it, really.
Wow. People, this is why we tell the backstories. They're leaders in their field, but we all come from the same place, a lack of knowledge, trauma. But through trauma, there's opportunities for transformation. And from transformation, there's a form of triumph where you can start to lead. So we please clap for our panelists sharing their personal testimonies. Can we get a show of hands, just like 6 degrees of separation? Have you or someone in your circle been affected by that lack of insurance, that lack of knowledge, where someone has lost a house, someone's had poor medical care as a consequence of lack of knowledge? That's a solid majority in the room. I was going to ask who hasn't sorted out their insurance, but I realized, A, that's a deeply personal question, and secondly, I'm low-key one of them. That's why I'm on the panel, because we sometimes lack the knowledge of who to go to. And quite often when we see people who don't look like they're from our culture, somebody looks like they're running a firm and you don't understand how you fit into their narrative, we feel there's a block and we can't connect. So can we speak on that?
Do you know what's important as well? Other cultures and communities are about insurance. They know the importance of insurance. And this is one of the reasons I think all of us got involved, is that me personally was to educate my community. Because a lot of the times I have seen it and have experienced it, that somebody's passed in a family and we have to gather up and put ourselves maybe a couple years back because there's a lack of insurance. And I don't think that it's not like, because everyone's got car insurance if you drive. Anyone drive in the room? You got car insurance? I'm sure you have. A lot of people's probably got mobile phone insurance. Anyone got mobile phone insurance? Okay. Some people might have white goods insurance. Your fridge, your cooker, they got those insurance? All right. Now, the most important person on this earth is you, yourself. Why haven't you got insurance? As we said, the life insurance of your past, but if you got ill, would you like to know that you got a sum of money coming to yourself to allow you to breathe? Most of us, if we got ill from work, we're not going to recover. We're going to be rushing back to get to work because bills have to be paid. But if you've got some form of insurance in place that covers that, that allows you to relax. That allows you to go, you know what? I don't want to be in the UK where it's all dairy and jerry. I'm going to Jamaica to recover with the sun and the good food.
Come on, tell them. Yes.
These are the things that you will have access to when you've got the knowledge, when you've got the right packages in place. And as Sharuk, Harold, we're all advisors that we put things in place that are suitable to you. And I believe that you start somewhere. So if your budget is £10, you start with £10. And then it grows as your financial circumstances change.
It's all based on affordability. It's literally based on affordability. And everybody thinks of insurance and thinks, oh my God, it's going to break my pocket. No, it does the opposite. It protects your pocket. Think of it that way, yeah?
Okay, let's go on this adventure then. Let's say, theoretically, I haven't got my life insurance sorted out.
Yeah, shame on you.
I'm looking at the different tiers.
Sorry.
I'm looking at the different tiers. I'm like, okay, if I only put in a small amount, will this amount to much? Do I have to go to the top tier?
Shall we do a consultation right now?
Let's do that.
Okay, so let's go. How old are you? Sorry. How young are you?
Okay, I'm in my 40s.
Okay, all right. So let's just make up a number. 45. You're not 40. He doesn't look 45.
No, we're giving him 41.
All right, 40. All right, 41. 40. Let's just keep it simple. 40. We're giving you 40. Yeah. Okay. All right. So do you have a mortgage? Sorry, it's a bit personal. Let's just make it up. You don't. This is not for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just say yeah. Okay. Cool. So then we'll have your mortgage covered. So based on the term of your mortgage is what will get covered, because how a life insurance works is it's based on 3 elements. 1, your debt. We have to secure that. Yeah. We have to mitigate that by a life insurance, because believe it or not, it does not die with you. How many people here believe it actually dies with them? Well, I'm dead. My debt goes with me. No, it gets past your next of kin. Yeah. Even a virgin bill. Just putting it out there. Yeah. A fitness first, or whatever it is, it will go to your next of kin. They will chase you.
And this is automatically.
This is automatic. They want their bill. It's a contract. So you're the next of kin, you're getting my bill.
Okay.
So that's the first thing we look at. So that's your debt. Then we look at who's paying for your funeral. Because unless, do you want your family to do a GoFundMe? How much are funerals these days? Does anybody know? So let's just go with the rough estimate of 15k between. Yeah, that's your basic. Has anyone got 15k to just put down on a funeral? So that's 15k, right? And that's in today's money. Funeral parlors go up quicker than house prices. Yeah, so So by next year, that'll probably be 20K as your standard, right? And a year after that and so on. So already we've covered your debt, your funeral, now your legacy. Now what we leave behind for our loved ones. What does that look like? That's where now you're going to make sense of the numbers. So let's just say your mortgage is 250K of repayment. So we put that as a decrease in cover. This is real consultation time, isn't it?
And I hope at this point you're not taking notes, because I'm taking one for the team here. So all of you, have your phone, make your notes, because this is free consultation.
Yeah, this is a free consultation. So this is what it will look like. So we'll kind of, let's just say for the next 25 years, you're paying for 250K. So on a repayment, so that's now a decreasing plan. Honestly speaking, mortgage protection isn't expensive. It's probably the cheapest part of the insurance, right? Okay, so now that's your debt covered. Now your funeral is 20K, right? So we'll put that to one side. Now we'll put, what do you want? How many kids do you have? Just make it up. Let's just say 2.
I say 2.
Okay, so ideally, you've got 2 kids. What do you want them to have? What does a substantial amount look like to you for them to have when you're no longer here?
At least say 30K, 40K, just to
do what? And this is not me kind of being rude or anything. I just want to know, where did the 30K come from? I'm trying to understand it.
Just to put down, depending on what stage of life, obviously, but either to go towards their education, or if they want to start saving up towards getting their foot on that property ladder.
Okay, so 30K in today's time on a property ladder will probably get you where?
Man said a shed at the back, you know.
Right? Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So let's think realistically. And today's money, 30K, may sound like it's okay, but we ain't trying to kill you off today. All right? We're trying to kill you off.
Camera, okay.
Right, yeah. Honestly, nobody knows their expiry date, right? But ideally, we want to think long term, yeah? As well as short term, we want to think long term. So 30K today's money is all right, but we don't want all right. You want great, and you want great for your kids. So therefore, let's look at 100K. Let's look at a 250K. Let's look at a 500,000. They don't cost that much.
How are we getting there, though? Like, that sounds incredible and it sounds worthy, but we're beginning this journey. I'm thinking about how much I need to put down every month. You are raising my aspiration to leave behind through insurance a significant sum. Get me there so I can understand how I can actually achieve that goal.
Okay, so now we understand the figures, right? So now we look at your affordability. That's all it is. That's literally what it is. I can say to you, it's going to be £10. It could be £100. It all depends on what you're comfortable paying.
I think a key thing what Sharuk's saying there as well, looking at your personal circumstance, because this is all individuals, it's confidential conversation. Everybody's circumstances is going to be completely different. The key thing is understanding what you would want, what your needs are, okay? Once we understand what your needs are, now we're going to look at affordability. Now, I'm going to say to you, okay, this is what your needs are, but that you're going to say to me, but I can afford £40 a month. So I'm going to say to you, okay, now what we're going to have to do is reduce some of these numbers for now, just so you have something in place and not nothing in place. And then once your circumstances develop, your income increases, we're going to review your policy and I'm going to bring it back up to what you would like it to be. But at the beginning, I need to know what you would want, what your circumstances are, so you can understand for yourself, this is my ideal. But after that, we're going to look at affordability. Your ideal might cost you £90, but your affordability is £40, for example. Now I'm going to reduce those policies, so you still got stuff in place, but I'm going to reduce those policies to your affordability.
And based on your needs.
And based on your means. Because what I don't want to happen is you tell me, yeah, I can do it. And then 6-7 months down the line, why? I'm going to have to cancel that because it's not working. I want you to know, same way I get my trim done every week, my insurance is paid every week because I can afford it. And it's comfortable for me. So that's one of the key things where it's important to speak to advisors like one of us, because I've had clients where I review their policies and they've got, say for argument's sake, they say, yeah, I've got 300K insurance. I'm like, oh, that's good. Let me look at your policy. And then I review it and I say, oh, but this ends when you're 55. I'm not expecting you to pass away by then, but because of the advisor they spoke to, the 300K sounded great. They're paying £12, great. But if you paid that £12, I believe you're going to be living at 55. So that's a waste of a policy.
So this goes back to culture and trust. People don't always read the small print. We don't even read that on tech.